Breakouts Bonanza begins with quarterbacks on Fantasy Football Today, presented by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. I'm Adam Azer with Heath Cummings and Dave Richard. This is the first of 4 episodes that we are recording on Wednesday night. Obviously, you know what they're going to be: quarterbacks, running backs, tight ends, then wide receivers. And I'm going to call him friend of the program at this point, Jake Ciely. First person I asked to be on. Don't tell the other people. First person I asked to be on. This is like the 3rd or 4th year you've done the Breakouts Bonanza with us, so welcome. Are you excited to talk quarterbacks?
Oh, it's so much so. As Dave said before we started this, it's always such a wonderful list. And I love, yes, the Flex League belt or actually chain that you're representing there, by the way, in the Best Bowl League from last year. Also, similar to somebody that's in the league with you, as Nando would say, I would hope you would call me just a friend, period, and not a friend of the show.
I think you're a friend. I consider you a friend, absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you. Yes, when I introduced him at my wedding as my boss, he got very upset. And it's like, I'm actually a friend.
How did you introduce Nando at your wedding?
I didn't. You know what I said to Nando at my wedding? I went up to him, and this is a true story. I went up to him and Jamie, and I said, please don't embarrass me today. That's what I said before my wedding. I was like, just give me one day where you don't embarrass me. That's what.
Not today, though. That was a different day.
That was, only my wedding day. Fair game now. All right, guys. So we're going to have 4 episodes, about 20 minutes each. Let's see how we do with that. Our breakout quarterbacks, we've got 2 from Heath, 3 from Dave, 3 from Jake. And let's get right to it. Heath, the first one here is Justin Fields. And I think Dave might push back on it a little bit. So Justin Fields. Jamie, we did a draft on Tuesday night. That was the only quarterback Jamie took. Now, part of that was because if we had played out the league, there were a lot of good ones on the waiver wire. It wasn't a very quarterback-heavy draft. But, yeah, give me your take on Justin Fields.
He has improved as a passer basically every year he's been in the NFL. I know it was only 6 games last year, but he looked more comfortable. And statistically, he was better as a passer last year with the Steelers. Now he doesn't have Arthur Smith. He does have former college teammate Garrett Wilson. He's going to run for 800 yards. He might run for 8 touchdowns. There's no reason. Like, people talk about Justin Fields' rushing ability as if it only gives him upside. It also protects the floor. He's going to score 8 points per game, maybe 9, just with his rushing. There was 1 touchdown pass. He's all of a sudden not had a bad week. Justin Fields, breakout season. Draft him in round 7.
In his last 3 seasons, Justin Fields has finished as QB. I'm going to give you a 6 point per game, which is his worst format. QB 6 per game. QB 14 per game. However, you remove one of those games, would have been up to QB 8 because he left week 6 early. And QB 9 per game. So that's top 10, at least 2 out of 3 years, depending on how you want to A's or stat it. Now, QB 9 per game was last year in weeks 1 through 6 only. So, Dave, do you want to push back on the Justin Fields breakout call?
I think he could have his best year ever, or he could just keep doing what he has been doing over the last 3 seasons, and that's get you to 20 fantasy points in about half of his games. And that's not a bad thing. Last year, there were 12 quarterbacks that did that. And does he have the upside to get you like into that 25 range? He did it for 1 year in Chicago. Other than that, no. Watching him in the preseason, it wasn't very much, but it was a reminder that he's very much a one read and throw type of quarterback. And we know that the Jets certainly want to run the football a lot. That's great for Justin Fields, but they also have 3 running backs that they want to get involved. I like him as a top 12 quarterback, but it's as my 12th quarterback. I'm penciling him in for around 20, 21 fantasy points per game for however many games he stays healthy, and we know that he gets hurt pretty much every time that he's a starting quarterback. I would not take him in round 7. I would also not take him in round 8. I think this is a quarterback that you kind of have to let somebody else in your league go after, and you just settle on somebody else if you're in the camp of waiting for a QB.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going that early. He's going 108th overall in Fantasy Pros ADP. So, all right, so that's
9th.
Maybe something that Dave would be comfortable with. Right, that's like the 9-10 turn. Jake, where do you have Justin Fields in your rankings?
QB 7. I'm with Heath on this one, and I will take him in the 8th and even consider him late 7th, mostly because I love the numbers that he threw out. And I'm going to say, you know what? Not only do I agree with the fact that he's a better passer than people give him credit for, like people act like he's a terrible thrower. We're not talking about Anthony Richardson here, but at the same time, on the flip side, I don't even care if he's a good thrower because Freaking Daniel Jones was a top 10 quarterback running for 707. You know this, Adam. And he didn't even throw a touchdown per game that season. Here's another stat from last year. Justin Fields, 2 20-plus point games, combined 1 passing touchdown in those 2 games. I don't need him to throw because he's going to run for 800-plus and 8-plus, like he said. I will admit, Dave is right. If you don't want to take the risk that he does get hurt because he does run, I understand it, but he's not losing the job. He's losing the job if he gets hurt. So I will take him as my QB7 because I think if he plays 15, 16 games, just like he did that one season you referenced, Dave, there's 1,000 yards rushing on the floor for him.
Okay, so let me jump in here. Hold on one second. We got to move to our next guy, or we're never going to get through all the names. But more importantly, well, I know everybody wants to talk about it's good stuff, but more importantly, very important note here: Jake is more of a 4-point per passing touchdown default. Whereas CBS leagues are more typically 6-point. So, yeah, I mean, this is a guy.
It wouldn't change much.
Okay, it's good to know. But when you say he's 7th in your rankings, those are 4-point per passing touchdown leagues, right?
I'd still take him 7th and 6.2 for the upside.
All right, let's go to our next one. It's Jayden Daniels and Heath. You know, I'll just make this one quick, but you think he's going as QB3. You think he could be easily QB1.
The number 1 quarterback in my projections, and that's in 6-point per pass touchdown leagues. Yes, if you look at his numbers last year, only 3,500 yards passing, only 25 passing touchdowns. But that includes 2 games where he played less than half the snaps and combined for 44 yards passing and 0 touchdowns. I expect he takes a step forward as a passer. I expect Deebo Samuel as a short area target that can do more after the catch than he had last year, helps his passing efficiency. The great thing about having him ranked at QB1 is you don't ever have to draft him at QB1. Lamar Jackson goes at the end of round 2. Josh Allen goes at the end of round 2. You can just watch that and laugh and say, don't take quarterbacks in round 2 and then take Jayden Daniels in round 3. He'll be better than both of them.
I did that in a draft today, except it was round 4 and not round 3. And I feel like I laughed all the way to the bank. And I built a great team around him. So I love that. There's a great story on Fox Sports. Henry McKenna wrote it on how Deebo Samuel could be used in the Commanders' offense. And it might be significantly different from how he was used in San Francisco. It's worth a read. It kind of made me moderately excited about Deebo Samuel. Basically, it said he gets more downfield targets, not as much running in that offense. Heath, do you still keep him at number 1 if Terry McLaurin misses the start of the season with his holdout?
Listen, this could end up looking dumb, and I'll probably be more open to it 2 weeks from now than I am now. I don't really believe that Terry McLaurin's going to miss games. Guys don't really do that. It's happened occasionally. I might downgrade Daniels a little bit if McLaurin's a week away from the season and not practicing because he might get off to a slow start.
Okay.
But I just don't believe that this is going to result in anything other than Terry McLaurin being a Commander on a new deal.
Okay, and Adam's going to kill me because I'm asking you another question, so you can just say yes or no. Would you downgrade Daniels if McLaurin shows up before week 1, no training camp, no practice, but he's there? Is
Probably
there a
not.
downgrade there, or are you just going to say, all right, maybe the first 4 weeks, Daniels only averages 25 fantasy points per game, and then he takes off after that?
No, I think if Terry McLaurin's not there, he just has to run more, and that's great for fantasy too.
All right. So Justin Fields and Jayden Daniels for Heath. We'll get to Dave's in a moment. We'll finish with Jake's. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, please use the bonus code FANTASY, and you're going to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app, sign up, and the promo code is FANTASY. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game. And if your bet loses, you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets. So just make sure that you use the bonus code FANTASY when you sign up on BetMGM. Dave has Drake Maye, Trevor Lawrence, and JJ McCarthy as his breakout candidates. Drake Maye, Trevor Lawrence, JJ McCarthy. Is that how you rank it?
Absolutely. Drake Maye. I toyed with the idea of moving Maye ahead of Justin Fields. And as much as I don't love Justin Fields, I can't do that. I cannot go that far. I will still take Justin Fields out of Drake Maye. Maye last year, 11 games. This is week 6 through 17. Think about the receivers that he threw to. Think about the offense that he was in. Think about the structure of what that team was like. Think about the offensive line. He still averaged 18.6 fantasy points per game in 6 point. I think he can improve on that. He's got Stephon Diggs. He's got a better, well, at least it's a younger offensive line. It should be a better offensive line. He's got Josh McDaniels calling plays. I think it helps him tremendously to have Trevion Henderson catching passes out of the backfield. I think that can make a world of difference. And after watching him practice, watching him in the preseason game, I'm pretty confident that he's improved as a thrower. And we've always known that he has a strong arm. And this is going to be an offense that revolves around him. He will certainly run for his fair share of touchdowns. I don't think he's going to run like Justin Fields, and really that's the big difference. But he can throw better than Justin Fields. And so if you don't like Justin Fields, you'll gravitate toward Drake Maye. Or if you just kind of want to wait for a quarterback and you want one with some rushing upside, Fields can be first on your list. Maybe Maye should be next when we're talking about a pick in this round 8-9 range that we're talking about.
So Heath has not jumped on board the Drake Maye bandwagon. He still has Maye 18th, whereas Jamie has him 12th and Dave has him 13th. Again, that's 6 point per passing touchdown leagues. Jake, Ciely, where do you have Drake Maye?
At 14th, I'm okay with the rushing upside. He has looked somewhat better in the preseason. I don't think he's to where we want him to be. I will say that, at least in my opinion. And I even said this on the podcast earlier today. Let's not overrate his receiving core. Like Diggs coming off an injury, Kyle Williams is not going to be a factor. He's way down the depth chart unless we get some shocking news the last 2 weeks. But I say all to say, I cannot agree more with the Trevion Henderson thing. I've been talking about Trevion Henderson this entire offseason. But all that being said, let's bring up Daniel Jones again. He's better passer than Daniel Jones. And again, I don't need him to throw for 4,000 yards. I don't think he's going to throw for 4,000 yards because Dave said he's not running like Justin Fields, but he might run like Josh Allen. And if that's the case, then who the heck cares if he's just a mediocre passer?
If he runs like Josh Allen, then he's running certainly not for as many yards as Justin Fields, but probably more touchdowns.
Well, he did towards the end of the season.
Yeah, well, he's also got to cut down the picks because he was on pace for 19 interceptions in his starts, whereas you keep mentioning Daniel Jones having like a borderline top 12 years.
Right.
He threw 5 picks that year. So that's the next step. And as good as he may have looked in the preseason, he did have a ridiculous fumble. So
it was terrible.
But he's got so much talent. All right, the other two.
Jake, would it help you if I told you that in the joint practice against the Commanders, he had 2 off-target throws out of maybe 25 throws? Like he's hitting deep bucket throws, no problem. Stephon Diggs looks good. Like this is a better offense. There's no other way to say it.
You're not wrong, and that's why I say he looks better. But it wouldn't make me feel better because I still don't think he's there to the degree of some of the throws he made in the game. That's my concern. He still looked like he's still making some mistakes.
Yeah, and that'll continue. But he's certainly I believe he's taken a step forward based on what I saw.
Yes.
Jake, or Heath, any pushback on Trevor Lawrence and JJ McCarthy as breakout calls?
I'll let Heath go.
I mean, at Trevor Lawrence, I would just like to congratulate him on breaking the record for the most consecutive breakout
years
as a quarterback without fulfilling an actual breakout. I love Travis Hunter. Hopefully, Travis Hunter elevates Trevor Lawrence. JJ McCarthy's never played in the NFL, so I feel confident that Dave's right and he'll have his best season ever.
Don't do that. You're a rookie. You're a rookies can be breakouts kind of guy.
I'm just trying to be quick, man.
All right. Well, do you guys draft Lawrence and or McCarthy with the thought of, hey, these guys might win me my league?
No. Lawrence, I don't think will win your league, but I think he can break out. I mean, if it doesn't happen at this point, he's one of the biggest busts in NFL history.
Somebody will call him a breakout next year.
Yeah, the McCarthy happens to do. McCarthy's it's the quarterback whisperer and all the talent around him. And I'm not. My only concern for McCarthy is not that he's not good on a per drop back basis. I'm just concerned that the Vikings might be more balanced this year and not ask him to throw like Sam Darnold just did. And if that's the case, is he going to run for 400 or 500 yards? That's another question that we have to throw out there. So I could see it, but I could also see JJ McCarthy being somebody that we move on from 3 weeks into the season just because it's a more conservative approach than we expected.
The best part about both of these quarterbacks is that you can get them significantly late in drafts. You might not even have to draft them. They might be on the waiver wire to begin the season. I hear you, Jake, on what the Vikings might try to do, what they want to do. I don't know if Kevin O'Connell can actually contain himself because he's a former quarterback. He's done such a good job scheming up his offense with Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold. I think J.J. McCarthy is a solid thrower right now. He could get better. I don't think he's running for 500 yards either. But I do think he'll give you a little something on the ground. So will Trevor. And both of them are candidates to potentially get 4,000 yards. The real appeal with both of them is who they're throwing to. And Brian Thomas Jr. is a favorite of a lot of people. Travis Hunter is going to be taken with the top 60 pick. We already know how good Justin Jefferson is, how good Jordan Addison is, how good TJ Hawkinson is. The guys connected to these pass catchers should be able to put up numbers. Otherwise, we've got some real problems with some of our favorite fantasy.
Let me slide in a quick question, Adam, and I'm going to say just because this is who McCarthy feels like as a passer today. He is going to get better, but just as of today, where would you rank Tyler Heineke in the Vikings offense?
Lower.
I just feel McCarthy is Heineke today. Again, I do believe he's better and will be better. I just feel what we're watching and what we've seen, and already heard some of the concerns about his decision-making. I just feel like Heineke is who McCarthy is today.
All right, the good point for McCarthy would be this. The last 3 quarterbacks that have played for the Vikings, Cousins twice, Sam Darnold last year, they have finished top 8 per game in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues and top 12 per game in 4-point per passing touchdown leagues, probably to the surprise of everyone each year. All right, so we're going to take a break and get to Jake's breakouts when we come back. And I'm also going to tell you something about the best quarterback values over the last 5 years. We'll be right back on Fantasy Football Today. All right, a few things here real quick. So tomorrow, it's Wednesday right now. You might be listening on Thursday. Thursday, we have a live stream beginning sometime around 4:15 or 4:30 p.m. Eastern. This is the Adam and Dan tennis match. This is also going to be a fantasy football chat, okay? Jamie and Heath are going to be taking your questions, talking fantasy football. We're going to have some guests come on. It should be pretty fun. And quite honestly, I have been watching tape of last year's tennis match, and I think I am ready. I am ready to make a big jump here. I am excited for the match. Like I said yesterday, I hate Dan Schneier, and I'm going to kill him. So
I'm about ready to offer Dan $500 to St. Jude if he sweeps you. 6-0,
come on, don't say that.
6-0.
I will say by the picture, you definitely look more like the tennis player.
That's a ridiculous picture. But anyway, watch it. We're going to live stream it. It's going to be fun, and we're going to talk fantasy, and we're going to raise money for St. Jude. The other thing is the Experts League, the Draftathon Experts League. This is one of the coolest items we have at tinyurl.com/2025FFT. If you go there and click View Auction House, you can see the Draftathon League. And let me just see who's in that one or how much that's going for right now, because Jake is in that league. $760 is the current bid. You've got about a day left. Or if you're listening tomorrow, you have less than 24 hours. You're listening on Thursday. Less than 24 hours to make this happen. You're in a league with some of the best analysts in the industry, plus Jake.
Thank you. I was waiting for it.
All right. So let's get back to the show here. We've heard Justin Fields and Jayden Daniels from Heath, Drake Maye, Trevor Lawrence, JJ McCarthy. Before we get to Jake's, I just want to tell you some of the best quarterback values over the last 5 seasons. 2020, Aaron Rodgers, QB1. He was drafted as QB11. Josh Allen, that was his breakout year, QB2, drafted as QB10. Ryan Tannehill was a great value. Tom Brady the next year. Tom Brady was QB9. He finished as QB2. I think they won the Super Bowl that year. Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford, they were both top 5. The year after that, Jalen Hurts, Geno Smith was undrafted. He finished as QB5. Justin Fields, QB6 per game. Dak Prescott in 2023. Jordan Love in 2023. Brock Purdy, all of them top 6. Kirk Cousins was QB7 per game. Joe Burrow in 2024 finished as QB2. Baker Mayfield, QB3. Jayden Daniels was a great value. So was Jared Goff. So was Bo Nix. The point I would make is
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. Oh, how did I forget him? Sam Darnold, great value.
Everybody forgets Sam Darnold.
You heard a lot of names of guys that are mobile, but they're more pocket passers. Don't overlook those players. And all the stats I gave are 6-point per passing touchdown leagues, but they were good in 4.2. Don't overlook the seemingly more boring players. I know we're talking about breakouts, so you can't have Jared Goff on this show.
I thought you were talking about your tennis game again.
But I'm just saying, you don't have to be this super, running quarterback. You can be a 300-yard quarterback, be Jared Goff, and not even come close to that. But just don't overlook the really good passers, because almost all of those guys, Justin Fields is the only example of a guy who was drafted super late at quarterback and finished really well and didn't throw at least 29 touchdown passes. All right, with that said, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, Cam Ward. Now, Caleb on this list is interesting. By the way, we have 3 minutes until our next show is supposed to start. Caleb on this list is interesting, Jay, because nobody's so high on him right now. You still have him and Bryce Young and Cam Ward. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I do want to touch on the previous thing real quickly. That's why if we were also talking bounce backs, Dak Prescott, CJ Stroud are on a lot of my teams. If I'm waiting till the end game, I'm double dipping in a lot of the names we're bringing up today, and including those guys who can go back to 4,000 yards and potentially 30 touchdowns. Caleb Williams, I think, is just interesting for everything we've been talking about, that Ben Johnson is going to come over and fix this offense and fix Caleb Williams and the weapons that they have. Dunze's rookie season was thrown out the window. Partly, look, it was his own fault at times. There was concentration issues, there was route running issues, but we all saw the talent that Dunze was, and I think as their number 2, Luther Burden's been slow to come along because of the injury, but one of the better number 3s when he's back out on the field. And what I like about all 3 of the wide receivers, that being Moore, Burden, and Dunze, is they can all play the slot and they can all play outside to varying degrees of effectiveness. But I think Ben Johnson can move them all around and see what works and see what works best in his offense. But it does come back to Caleb Williams, and there's been mixed reviews so far. So I will say it's far from a lock, but if somebody's going to get him right, I think Ben Johnson can do it. Maybe it takes a few weeks into the season and we're patient, but I love some Caleb Williams for the upside of, I would take him before Drake Maye. And I know that's not a very common thought. Yeah.
Okay. By the way, you know what your list has in common? These are the last 3 number 1 picks in the NFL draft.
Yeah,
Bryce
so
Young, Caleb Williams, and Cam Ward. Now, do you think Bryce Young and Cam Ward can be top 12 quarterbacks this year?
I think they can. I think the thing with Bryce Young is the end of season Bryce Young, is that who we see this year? And it's not just the thrower. It's the fact that he started calling his own number, especially at the goal line. Like, I don't think he's going to run for 600-700 yards. But if he turns into even early career Dak with a few more, like the 6 touchdowns on the ground on 200 yards, is that going to be part of his game going forward in addition to the better passing? Then I think Bryce Young will be a top 12. That being said, he needs that, because I don't think Bryce Young is going to be throwing for 4,400 yards. I don't think he's going to have a huge ADOT at the top of the league. I don't think that's his game and what they're going to do, though I think McMillan's obviously going to help. Cam Ward I threw with an asterisk because I'm on the I don't think rookies break out. I think they have great debuts. But I do think if you are looking for a gamble on Cam Ward, I think he will run more than some people think, 300-400 yards potentially on the ground. But everybody's excited about what this offense is going to do. And yay, Cam Ward, and I'm going to throw Calvin Ridley into this conversation, is like, let's give him more respect of what he's going to do this year. But if Cam Ward runs 300-400 on the ground and comes out and looks anything, you talk about ADOT, passes like he did that final season in college at Miami, he's a gunslinger. We already saw it. How many 50-yard completions has this guy already put up just in the preseason game alone? I think Cam Ward wouldn't shock me to be top 15, maybe not a QB1, but I do think it's in his wheelhouse.
I'm going to end with this question for all of you guys. We've got these young, exciting players, Drake Maye, Caleb Williams, throw Trevor Lawrence in there, that are not as proven as, look at this list that we're showing. Jordan Love, Jared Goff, and Brock Purdy are not on this list. They're probably just ahead of that. But Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, Justin Herbert. How do you, Heath, make the decision? I'm going with the young, unproven guy that I think has more upside, or the maybe not as sexy on draft day, but still very good guy, the veteran quarterback that we know more about?
I don't think you make that decision at all. I think if you're taking one of the young, unproven guys, and I would like to, then you just take both. Take one of each. It's not like I don't want to take one of the older guys that are kind of boring without one of the young, exciting guys. Just take both.
And if I've drafted one of the top 5 quarterbacks, I'm not real interested in drafting another quarterback.
Yep.
It's true.
I think too many people make that mistake. You're never starting him anyway, so why did you waste that bench spot that you could have spent on another running back or wide receiver?
Oh, you're lucky we're out of time, because I could say 5 minutes on that subject.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I could have. I do it a lot.
Wouldn't help us any, but it'd be
No. All right. Well, it'd be good for at least for me to get it off my chest. Thank you very much to Jake Ciely at All In Kid. Follow his work at The Athletic, and great stuff. All right, we got JJ Zachariason joining us to do running back breakouts. Check that out. We'll be there. I don't even know what I'm saying. Goodbye, everyone. See you soon.